tonight I'm talking specifically about Facebook marketing and how that relates to your business. And I mean, anyone with an internet connection that's been around for the past decade has heard of Facebook and knows that the internet in general has significantly changed the way that we market our business. I don't know what just happened. Anyway, so the goal tonight is just to give you a good introduction to how Facebook marketing works, and give you some tips to be able to utilize Facebook, which is in and of itself a free platform, to grow your business and ultimately drive sales to your business, because ultimately the goal of business is just to make money. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and real quick before I dive in too deep, I want to talk about if anyone in the room already has a Facebook page, you've got an existing page, and you're like, I've already got a bunch of likes, I'm good, I can kind of check out. I just wanted to go over something real quick. A lot of Facebook likes on your page doesn't necessarily mean you have a healthy page. With services out there that sell you fake likes from spam accounts and various things like that, where you might have 2,000 likes, but 1,800 of them are from India. It's not really relevant, because those customers are probably never going to convert to a sale for you. So I want to talk about something called the engagement rate real quick before we dive in too deep. But basically, the engagement rate right here, you'll see next to where it says 704 likes, right under the name of the page, it says 361 people are talking about this. And so that's what I use to calculate what I call an engagement rate. Other people may call it something a little different, but basically it means what percentage of the total amount of people who've liked your page, what percentage of them are engaging with your posts. So are they, when I say engage, I'm saying they're not just seeing your post, they are liking your post, either commenting on it or sharing it, tagging you, any kind of actual interaction, not just a passive, because I can pass a billboard on the side of the road, and I saw it, but I didn't really do anything with it. And so people can see your posts all day long, but we ultimately want to drive them to do something, which goes back to driving sales traffic to your business. So I calculate what I call the engagement rate by taking the number of people talking about this and dividing it by the number of likes. And so for Courthouse Gymnastics, they have about a 49% engagement rate right now. And just a little quick, fact is the industry average for all Facebook pages is between 2 and 5% engagement. So that means that at any given time, for most pages, only 2 to 5% of the total amount of people who've liked their page are actually doing anything with their posts. And so this creates a big need for us to realize that it's not just about the likes, it's about how many people are actually interacting with our posts. Also, I have a pretty hefty amount of content. I just wanted to make sure that I was going to ask everybody to try to hold your questions if you have any. I'm going to try to set aside a little bit of time at the end if we have time to answer any questions you have, and I'll hang around after tonight if anybody needs anything answered. So how big of a deal is Facebook in terms of business? Has anybody heard of Shopify? If for those who don't know what it is, it's an e-commerce platform that allows you to create an online store, pretty easily create an online store for your business or your organization. And so Shopify did a study on, they took all of their clients, people who have made online stores, and they tracked 37 million social referrals, meaning that someone on one of 13 sites that they studied clicked a link to a Shopify store. Okay, so that's what I mean by when I say social referral. And so out of 37 million links clicked from 13 different social sites, Facebook accounted for 63% of that traffic. So Facebook is a huge deal. Some of the social networks, you only see 5 of theirs, so that means 8 of them didn't even make it to the really significant enough to have a place on the graphic. So Facebook is a huge deal for anyone who tries to say it's not, or that they don't think they should be on it. So it's a huge deal for your business. Next, this is the news feed. I'm sure everybody's heard of it or at least seen it at some point, anyone who's been on Facebook. This is the first thing that we see when we visit Facebook. So this is actually a shot from earlier today. I went to Facebook, took a snapshot for this presentation, and I've got the news feed, and specifically is this middle section. It's where posts actually show up from friends of mine and pages that I've liked, pages I've followed, and so just a statistic is the average Facebook user out of a billion monthly active users has 300 friends, and they like roughly 40 pages. That's an average. Obviously, like for me, I have closer to 1,500 friends, and I've liked upwards of 500 pages. But the average user combined is 300 friends and 40 likes. Has everyone liked a page on Facebook who has a Facebook? Like, you get what I'm saying when I say like a page? Okay, like, you may not even know this, but whenever you're on your profile and it's asking you what books have you read, what music do you listen to, where have you went on vacation to, when you answer these questions, your answers, if those answers actually have a page that exists, Facebook automatically likes that page for you. So an example would be, if it asks me what TV shows I like, and I say I like to watch Lost, I love Lost, or I like Walking Dead, or I like Law and Order, whatever. If those pages, or if those terms have a page, it likes it for me. And so just by saying I like these TV shows, I'll start seeing posts from those TV show pages in my timeline or in my newsfeed. And so with all that, with 300 friends average and 1,500 for me, we need to figure out, like, how did Facebook determine that that's what I wanted to see when I logged into Facebook, or that was the best thing to show me, and a few other stores that were under that when I logged in. The answer is Facebook uses an algorithm. So we're going to talk briefly about this. So in 2006, the news feed didn't always exist. Before the news feed, there was, you had a profile, you could write, you could post a status update, you could write on friends' walls, but there was no centralized location where you could see all the updates from your friends or pages you followed or anything like that. Pages didn't even exist yet. And so September 2006 is when the news feed actually was born. That's when that went live. And then about a year later, Facebook launched their ad platform, and they launched pages that would actually allow you to create a page for your company or your organization. That didn't stop people before that from creating personal profiles for their page or organization, but it was actually against their terms of service. So they launched pages, and then also at the same time, something called EdgeRank came out. So before EdgeRank is an algorithm, and we'll discuss it in a second. But before EdgeRank, when the newsfeed first came out for that first year, there were literally guys in an office in Facebook who were basically, in a sense, turning knobs based on user feedback of we need to show more photos to people. We need to turn photos down. People don't like as many photos. We need to show a wall post, or they're actually like kind of trial and error of what do we show these people. Now we have this news feed, how they're having to manually determine what to show all these Facebook users. And so they made an automated algorithm called EdgeRank that actually would determine these things for them. And we'll go into EdgeRank in a second. And now today, there's an algorithm. It's based off the original EdgeRank, which we're about to talk about, but it's actually even more complex than what I'm about to show you. And Facebook hasn't been very public about everything that goes into this algorithm. So we kind of have to know, base everything off of what they've told us and also trial and error. And so the edge rank algorithm, is the sum of edges. And so an edge on Facebook is any action. So an edge can be what I commented on something, I shared someone's status, I shared someone's photo, I posted a status update, I liked something. These actually can get even more specific into I viewed someone's profile, I searched for something. Anything you do, any kind of behavior that you do on Facebook is called an edge. And so with that in mind, this is actually the equation, if you will. It's the sum of edges, and each edge is assigned 3 characteristics. So every action on Facebook, and please stop me if I don't make sense, because I tend to not make sense sometimes. Each action on Facebook is assigned an affinity, which is the U, a weight, which is the W, and a D, which stands for time decay. And so after determining all of these factors that make up an edge, that's when the edge rank gets assigned to that particular action. And so bear with me for a second. So we're going to go through each of these kind of characteristics, affinity, weight, and time decay, so that we can kind of have a better understanding of what this is. So affinity, the first characteristic of an action, an edge, is a one-way relationship. And so it's built, it's a one-way relationship between me and another friend, or me and another page, a brand, me and some other entity on Facebook. And so affinity is built by repeat interactions between me and a page, or me and a friend. And so an example of this is if my best friend will have a different affinity score to me than I have to him, based on if I post on my friend's timeline, Facebook knows that I care about my friend. If my friend doesn't post on my timeline, it doesn't necessarily know that my friend cares about me. And so affinity is built in a one-way. Like his affinity score to me is not going to be the same if he doesn't interact with my posts the same way, on the same way and the same frequency that I interact with his.
Can I ask a question there?
Yeah.
What about, maybe this is part of the newer algorithm, but relative affinity to each other based on things that you both interact with, such as I'm an actor with as part of a talent agency. And so if me and all 400 other people like that page, and I think I've actually seen the effects of this. Like I actually see more stuff from people that like the same thing that I do. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Even though that's not me to them, it's both of us to something in the middle.
Yeah, common interest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's probably a safe speculation. I honestly don't know I wouldn't be able to say yes or no, but I think that's a pretty safe speculation. And so we don't underestimate that it's not smart. Facebook the algorithm is probably smarter than we can imagine. There are teams and teams of people who just work on just this algorithm all day. So that's affinity. Weight is a value system. All edges or all actions, liking, commenting, etc., are given a different weight, a different value, and so commenting on something has a different weight than liking it, or viewing someone's profile has a different weight than clicking a link or searching for something, etc. The general rule here is best to assume that an edge, an action that takes the most amount of time to accomplish tend to weigh more. And so an example is if I like something, it doesn't, on Facebook, it doesn't take too much effort to like something. I see a post a friend made and I click like, and that's it. That's the end of the interaction. A comment actually takes 3 steps. There's you click comment, or you click in the text box if it's already up. You type your comment, whether it be 3 words or 1,000 words, depends on if it's just a friendly discussion or a political debate. And then third, you actually have to hit post or submit comment. So because of the multiple clicks and the more effort involved in actually doing that action, it's given more weight, because it means that this person cared about this post enough to comment on it rather than just click a like button. There's actually speculation that it can be that the weight attribute is so specific that liking a page by searching for it first, rather than just clicking an ad, is actually worth more weight. So like because if I hear of a new business and I go home, if I heard of Jackson Restaurant Guide and I go home and I go to Facebook and I type in the search bar Jackson Restaurant Guide, I click on it, I click like, I intentionally looked for that business and followed that page. And so that has more weight than me seeing an ad on Facebook and passively clicking, oh yeah, I like that. I like that company. That's cool. Hit like. And so that's speculation, and there's a lot of things that we don't know. Yeah.
Actually, I'm gonna ask kind of a question on those lines. So like, you have your news feed set up. If someone posts like a status, let's say like, this person, Amber or something like that, and Amber, like, I like her status on the news feed, does that give them the same weight as you actually go actively to someone's profile and then like click on it? Because it would seem like it'd take more time to like go on the person's individual page.
I think it probably does, and also in that you're also visiting someone's profile.
Right.
And that actually establishes that in and of itself is an action.
Okay.
And so yeah, it's building an affinity between you and that person.
Yeah.
And so all this kind of meshes together. But yeah, I would say that most likely probably has more weight than passively hitting it in a newsfeed. Past weight is time decay, which is really simple. All it is how long it's been since the action happened. So the older the action, the less valuable, and that's really it. There's really there's really nothing more to add there. It's just the older the action, the less value it actually will have, and when it's being ranked with the edge rank. So what does edge rank do? We kind of briefly covered this already, but it basically determines which posts have, it ranks posts, all the posts that are made by anyone or any brand or page connected to you that you are friends with or that you like. It takes all their posts since you last visited Facebook, and it ranks each one, and then it displays those based on which has the highest edge rank at the top of your feed. Now, you could go through, my wife does every night, goes through her whole feed and sees all the posts her friends have made. I don't have that kind of time, but you could, and with each, as you scroll down, Facebook's going to load more and more posts that your friends have made or the pages have made that you follow, and with each post, those are each ranked. Okay, so the first one you see is what Facebook thought was best for you to see, that you would care most about. And also, I got to say that EdgeRank actually isn't EdgeRank anymore, and so that was actually something that coming into this, I was going to talk about EdgeRank, but doing a little research, it's really not even called EdgeRank anymore. That term hasn't been used in almost 3 years at Facebook internally. So we just call it newsfeed algorithm. We don't really know what the name of it is. So. There's also a couple new algorithm additions that we do know that Facebook actually announced. August 2013, they announced story bumping and last actor. And so story bumping, in a nutshell, just gives a little bit more weight to posts that are old, that have decayed in time, but have suddenly gotten more engagement. So if I go back and I like I go back to a friend's timeline and actually look at some of their recent posts from a month ago, and I like something or I comment on it, it gives it a little bit more, kind of a second chance at the newsfeed. The last actor this is actually really important for businesses. Last actor takes a user's, any Facebook user's last 50 actions that they performed on Facebook, and whether it be a click or a like or a message or a comment or whatnot, and on a rolling basis, it gives more weight to those actions. And so what you'll see this practically right now if you're on Facebook and people that you often message, you often like their post, or you often comment on their posts, you're going to see more of their posts. You've probably maybe not even noticed this, but basically Facebook's like, you really care about these people, here's more of their posts. And so as a business, we want as many of our posts to be in those last 50 actions, and so that we have a little bit more, even past the base edge rank or whatever we call it now, we have even a little more weight because we were in the last 50 actions that occurred. So with all this in mind, that's an overview of the algorithm. Before I go further, does anyone have a question about the algorithm? So now that we have a general understanding of that, what do we do? So between Facebook disclosing some aspects of their algorithm and just how they do things, between that and a lot of trial and error from people like me, we've got some rough best practices for actually creating a Facebook page, growing it, and maintaining it a healthy page. There are 4 main aspects that I'm going to try to shoot through as quickly as I can. As setup, just setting up the page, content, contests, and ads, the ad platform. So setup, this is and if anybody wants this presentation or wants a snapshot of this, I can send it to you. But this is just a quick checklist to run through when you're creating a page. It's also pretty good if you want to go back, if you already have an existing page, you can go back and kind of just check that maybe you met these, I'm not going to say requirements, but that you did these kind of best practices for setting up your page. Number 1 is upload a cover photo. This is huge. This is the first thing that someone who visits your page sees. So it needs to look good. It needs to reflect your brand in a way that inspires people who sees it, or calls them to do something like go to your site, or whatever you really want them or trying to get them to do in that season of your marketing. I'm going to have a few examples on the next few slides of just some cover photo examples so that you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about a clear design. Secondly is upload a profile photo. Not much to talk about there except your profile photo shows up in a lot of places. So with that in mind, we want to make sure that we design profile photos or upload photos that look great in all the locations that someone would see your profile photo. And so if you want to jot them down, they appear in fans' news feeds, obviously, whenever someone sees your post in their news feed. They appear with posts you make, so on your own timeline. They appear when you reply to a comment on your own page, or if you're using the Facebook as your page and you reply to someone's post. And they also appear, most importantly, at the top of your page as your profile photo. And so, again, it's something that you want to make sure blends well with your cover photo, and reflects your brand well, and also looks great in all these locations, because if you think about it, the profile photo at the top of a Facebook page is 160 pixels by 160. So it's a little square, it's kind of a big square, but if it's appearing in a news feed, it's only like 40 pixels by 40 pixels, so it's significantly smaller, so we want to make sure that it's still distinguishable. It's not just, it doesn't just look like some colored pixels. Like, we want to make sure it's distinguishable, that, oh, well, that's that brand, I still recognize the brand. So next is the basic information, and if you've ever set up a page, or if you ever do set up a page, you'll be kind of guided through this process of adding some basic information, whether it be like a bio or an address or email or hours if you're a store, or if you're an office. And so at the least, we want to fill out the short description section of this part. That actually appears at the top of the page, just under the profile, or just beside the profile photo and right under the cover photo. If you remember the second slide where I talked about the engagement rate, it was kind of right there under the people talking about this metric. And so we want to make sure that we put something there. It's a great place to put like a one-liner mission statement or some kind of call to action. Like, right now we've got, like I know, like Malika Records, if we've got this new artist, new album out by so-and-so, pick it up here or pre-order it here. It's just a good place to put a little one-liner call to action or some type of mission statement for your business. Next, the company milestones. I guess about 3 or 4 years ago, timelines rolled out on Facebook. It's no longer called The Wall, if anybody didn't know that. But with the timeline on a page, it's pretty cool. You can add milestones to your page, and so to do this, you would go like you're going to post a status update, and it would say, post a status update or post a photo or an offer/event. And so if you click on offer or event, it actually has a drop down, and one of the choices is milestone. And so some good ideas for company milestones you might want to add when your company launched, because this is all about telling a story of your company. You want this page to be a story for people who visited, where they get to see a picture of your company and your culture. And so company launch, key moments, we got bought out, got a seed fund, got hired first employee, got 10,000 likes on Facebook, whatever that may be. New product or service launches, anything like that. And it'll also give you an option, if you choose to do this, it'll give you an option to upload a picture that will actually span across the timeline. And if you want to know the dimensions for the picture, the best dimensions for the picture is 843 by 403. Next is post the first status update, and I put an S and apostrophe. I'll tell you why in a sec. So before ever inviting anyone to like your page, you need to at least post one status update. I actually recommend posting a few days worth of status updates, maybe even a week or two, so that when you do invite your first people to come like your page, it's actually full, looks nice and full. It's got content on it. It's not just one box and a status and then blank space. So we want people to we want emotions to be triggered when they visit our Facebook pages. It's like when they visit your website, we want emotions to be triggered where they feel connected to your brand. And so we don't want to give any negative vibes, like with lots of white space. Next is install page apps. This could kind of be a discussion all by itself, but the overview for that is we under the cover photo and all the way to the right, you're going to see little. Let me actually go up so you can see. Or move into the next one. All right, this is one of the cover photo examples I was going to show you. Coca-Cola has a fantastic social media presence and is very consistent on all of their mediums. But what I was going to show you is right here, we've got Coca-Cola store and events. And so what that is, those little icons there are apps. And so we can install apps for various different things to our page. We can install one to capture emails for a company newsletter. We can do contests. We can have our blog, from our site's blog, articles show up there, or posts show up there. We can do other social accounts, so even your Pinterest, if you want to, they click on Pinterest, and basically these apps are almost like a sub page of your page. So if I click on, if I click on Pinterest on someone's Facebook page, it's going to take me to a page within their page that shows their recent pins or shows their boards or something like that. And so it's not a link to Pinterest, it's still on Facebook. And at the least, you need to have a newsletter sign up app on your Facebook. This is really a big deal because with the Facebook algorithm changes being just constant and sporadic, they don't tell you when it's coming, it just happens. Sometimes those changes are good, they positively help a brand, sometimes they're bad, because there's a very delicate balance for Facebook where they have to keep their users happy, but also their advertisers happy, the brands, us as businesses, because they can't cater too much to one, because ultimately if they lose their visitors, they can't make money because they have no one to advertise to. And so with all that, we need a way to directly communicate with people who follow our page outside of Facebook, in case we ever want to communicate with them. And also email's just great because it's directly to their inbox. It's not, let's post this, and between all of our strategies and great content, they'll probably see it. At least inbox, we know it went to their inbox now. Whether they choose to open it, that kind of depends on what they think about your company, I think. But at the least, I think every Facebook page should have a email sign-up app. It's very easy, it's free. There are some great app providers out there. A few of them are ShortStack and TabSite and Woobox. That's WOOBOX, one word. And also for apps, keep in mind that apps don't show up on mobile devices right now. I'm hoping they do in the future, but currently when someone visits on an iPhone, they don't see any of those app icons. Next is, once you've got some apps installed, change the app names and icons. And once you've got some, you'll have the little thumbnail there, the little icon. And if you hover over it, you'll get a little pencil in the top right corner of that little icon. If you click that, you can hit edit, and it will allow you to change the picture so that maybe you want to coordinate with your cover photo and your profile photo, make sure, give a consistent look to that top section of your Facebook page to really wow a visitor. You can also change the name to better go with what you're trying to do. So if you're running a photo contest for a specific hashtag, you may not want the icon to just under it say contest. Maybe you want it to have the hashtag and say, hashtag photo contest or something like that, to really let people know this is what this is. Next is add a URL to your short description. Add your website to your short description. Go back to that section where we put the one-liner mission statement. And it's a good practice to actually put your website as the very first thing, and then maybe a dash or something to separate it, and then that mission statement. It's just an easy way for, as soon as someone hits your page, they see your website address. If they're looking for your website address, they click it. We don't want them to go to a Facebook page, and then some people may not even know that they can go kind of deeper into the About page and see your website address. Some people, the average Facebook user is, well, not that age is a huge deal for, but to some extent it is. There is I think we all know to some extent there is a disconnect between age and how technology plays out there. So we want this to be, with Facebook's average age rising constantly, we want to make sure that no matter who visits this page, whether they're 70 or they're 20, that it's easy for them to access the information they're looking for. So with that, I'll add a website address to the short description. Next is to like some other pages that are relevant to your industry or similar to your page. This is two benefits here, is that people who like your page will see that you like these other pages, so it will kind of give you a little bit of brand credibility of like confirmation this is the industry I'm in. Also, it's just a good way to give some other companies you love a shout out because these pages are going to be showcased on your page right under the cover photo. It'll say pages that you know so and so has liked, that my page is liked. To do this, you can there's a way to use Facebook as your page, and so I'm not going to go into that for time's sake right now. But if you want to know, we can talk about it. But you can use Facebook as your page, that identity, and then go like other relevant pages. That's how you do that. Choosing a posting and analytics tool. This is not a requirement per se, but it's very helpful. You can with a tool like this, you can schedule posts, which you can do from Facebook. But I know for people who would know that, but you can schedule a post for a specific day and time. You can schedule it to be on a recurring basis. You can do multiple dates at once. It's very easy. You can get analytics of how many people saw your post, how many people actually clicked on a link that you posted, how many people viewed that photo you posted, and also maybe the best thing is a lot of these platforms allow you to see incoming messages, whether it be a message or a mention on Twitter or someone commented on one of your posts, and it gives you a way to track people who are giving your company a shout out, to where you can respond back and have that personal interaction. Gives you a way to track support requests or people complaining about a bug in your software or parking at your store. And also sometimes even people might take a picture of your product and they're using it and they're happy. And you might just want to like retweet it as a brand credibility. People, this is a person using my product and they loved it enough to post it on their own personal Twitter or their own personal Facebook. And so these platforms tend to encompass not just Facebook. They allow you to monitor all your social media accounts, whatever platform they're on. A few that I recommend, one's called Sprout Social, so that's sproutsocial.com. Another one's called Buffer, and that's bufferapp.com. And the other one is called Hootsuite, and that's hootsuite.com, obviously. Next is develop content strategies. What this is we don't want to start a Facebook page and it look great and then just blindly post to it, not really having a direction, not really having a purpose behind our posts, but just posting things. We want everything we do to have a purpose and to be intentional in some aspect of what do we want someone who sees this post to do with it. Do we want to inform them? Do we want to get them to our site? Do we want to make a sale? Do we want to just make them laugh? So we need to have a purpose with each post we make. And so developing a content strategy is kind of key for a successful Facebook page. Next slides are real short, so we should be good on time. These are just a few examples of cover photos and just ones that I really admire, brands I admire their Facebook efforts. I think that it looks great. They're consistent with their color scheme and it just looks clean. So that's Coca-Cola, Treehouse. These guys are awesome. They for anyone wanting to learn web development or graphic design or starting a business, they offer a great service. It's like it's a monthly subscription, like $20 or $30. But you can try them out for free. But it's called Treehouse. They're a great company. And then Short Stack. This is one of the companies I mentioned a few minutes ago that will allow you to install Facebook apps to your page. To some extent, some of these are free, but it just depends. Sometimes it depends on the amount of followers you have on your Facebook page. So not everything is free. But it's still a pretty great company. They've got pre-made templates that you can easily just, with a couple of clicks, get running on your page. if you want to do, throw up a contest really fast or something like that. Okay. Content was the second aspect of marketing that I had put back there. So first I'm going to go over the 3 Ps of posting. Number 1 is be personal. That's to say that a conversation is, we're not having a conversation right now. I'm just speaking to you. Conversation is two-way. It's a dialogue between 2 people, or more than 2. And so with this in mind, we need to be genuine, have a personality. People go to Facebook to connect with their friends and family, and so in a nutshell, they go to Facebook to feel connected. And so we need to make them, as a brand, we need to make them feel connected. And the only way to really connect to someone, I think, is to be personable, to be willing to talk to them, not just throw ads at them. Just say, hey, this is for sale, go buy this. Hey, check out this blog post so I can get some ad revenue. So we want to be personal. Next is we want to be. A few examples of being personal. You might want to post some photos of your staff working or having fun in the office. Photos or stories of customers or quotes from your staff. Just things that give someone an image into the inside of your business, not just what you want them to see, obviously, but also just some day-to-day stuff. Especially if you're a team of 1, founder pictures are huge because you're the face of your company. And so don't be so prideful that you can't post a picture of yourself and that you think you want people to perceive your company as like this big deal, because we all started somewhere. I'm still getting started myself, and so as the face of the company, we need to be the face of the company, not just kind of hide behind another identity. And it really helps give a personal touch to the brand. Number 2, purpose. Kind of just touched on this a few minutes ago, but every post should have a purpose. Do we want to make them laugh? Do we want to make them cry? Do we want to make them, do you want to give them some information? Do you want to share a tip with them, an industry tip? Do you want to get their opinion on something? So think about what is the purpose of every post that I'm doing, and how can I structure it in a way that achieves that action from whoever sees this post. So you might want to post some, for information, you might want to post some questions. Just, what do you guys think about the new iPhone 5S or iPhone 6 when it comes out, or whatever, if you're in the tech industry. Opinions, quotes related to your niche, and photos related to your industry or your product, people using your product. That's huge. Number 3 is promotion, and it's last for a reason. People just don't want to have ads thrown at them everywhere they go. And so posting, come buy this piece in my store, it's $300. That's fine to some extent, but that's not all we want. Like, for every, almost 10 posts that you make, maybe only one of them should be a promotional post. We want people to feel like we're not just trying to sell them something, that we really want to connect with them as a person. A good idea is just to kind of play with the 3 Ps and figure out which frequency, like how many to post of each type works, which works for you. You might want to start off with 2 purpose posts, 1 personal post, and 1 promotional post. Start there, do it and measure it on a weekly or monthly basis and see how people respond to it, or do I think I should do more of one or less of one. Also, keep in mind that as a page manager, you want to make sure that you are making a variety of posts, not just posting photos or just posting links. or just posting text statuses, because back to the algorithm, Facebook, I like photos. I mean, I like to see photos from my friends, and so when I click on a photo to view it, Facebook knows that I'm more inclined to see photo stories, and so it's going to show me more photo posts than it's going to show me text statuses. And so we want to make sure that we have a good variety so that our followers, no matter which post type they interact the best with, that they're seeing something from us speak, so that we can be in those recent 50 interactions. Give you some points of consideration. I'm not going to run through them for the sake of time, but again, I'll send this to somebody. These are just some questions you might want to ask yourself when you're posting or putting together a content strategy, like just what works for me, and you know, just because someone else out there does it a certain way and said, oh yeah, you should post at breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day, that doesn't necessarily mean that that's what you should do for your brand. Everyone's audience is going to be different. I have a client that, for whatever reason, the majority of their fan base is only online, or is online as the significant, like, majority is online at 8 p.m. every night. They're online, more of them are online at 8 p.m. than they are at 9 a.m. or 12 p.m. or 6 p.m. So, you know, we'll post something at 8 p.m. because that's when the most people are going to see it. And so, you know, those things, those insights are easily accessible on Facebook. If you're on your page, you can click View Insights, and you can actually see when is my audience online the most. You can see demographical information, how old are they, where are they located, all types of stuff. All right, next is contests. Contests are a great way to build your page's audience, to increase the likes, and also to increase that engagement rate, get people talking about it, especially when you have a sweet prize. More people will be interacting with it, more people will be sharing it. So some ideas for this, like to win, is very simple. You just like this post and you're automatically entered. And then you go in, you know, a week later, or however long you said you wanted to do the contest, and then you randomly pick the winner. Comment to win, same concept, but comment, like, and comment. So you could either like and or comment. You get up to 2 entries per person. Caption contest, where you post a photo and you just say, you try to make it relevant to your industry, and then you just say, caption this photo. Give me the best caption that you can come up with for this photo. And then for each person who enters a caption, the winner, you could decide the winner, or you can even have the people who follow your page decide the winner, because now comments on Facebook can be liked, not just the post. So if I post something, 3 people comment a caption on that post, well, people who follow my page can like those individual captions. And so you can say whoever has the most likes on their caption in 2 weeks wins the contest. Fill in the blank, that's kind of straightforward. You know, we want to do things like this that only really require someone to type a 1-word response, because it's really quick. So these things are really high participation, because that's ultimately what we want, is high participation in our content. Photo contests, you can do some awesome photo contests as well as other types with those apps I talked about, called like Box and Short Stack. You can also just do this straight from Facebook for free if you're on a budget. You can say message us your photo to enter, or you can say post them on our timeline, and you can pick the winner, or you can have people like those photos, and whoever gets the most likes wins. Q&A contest, you ask a question, they answer, you pick a winner, straightforward. Crowdsource contest is where you get your fans to help you make a decision regarding your business. So it might be a new logo, a new location. I mean, that's a pretty big deal, but if you wanted to get your fans involved. If you're an author, it might be the name of your book. If you're a band, the name of your CD coming out. If you're an author, you might even say, design a cover for my book, or give me a photo for the cover of my book, and the winner gets a signed copy. There's a lot of little ideas you can do with this. Next, kind of lastly, I'm just going to briefly touch on ads. The Facebook ad platform is huge. It's very powerful. They have so much demographical information on us as users. They know our age, our location, where all we've lived in the past. They know what we like, what we don't like. They know who we talk to. They know what other pages we like. And so with all that data, you can make a highly targeted ad campaign. I can target someone who, if I'm a competitor, I can target someone who likes my competition's page. If I am, here, I've got a client in Fondren. I ran a contest for them that like, people who are interested in jewelry, fashion, fine art, things like that, because that's the type of store they are. And then I only targeted within 15 miles of Jackson. Spent $100 and went up like 300% on their likes. So very, very targeted. You can even get so specific as to target people by their email address or their phone number, because everyone's got their phone, like most people have their phone number in their Facebook, even if it's not displayed publicly. And obviously they have to have an email to use Facebook. And so you can even target one specific person, if you need to do that. If you're trying to make a sale, you can target one specific person with an ad, and maybe close the sale that way. Also, one more tip is adjust the daily budget periodically, because when you bid for an ad, you're usually going to bid by how many times people are going to see it, or you're going to bid for how many times they're going to click on it. And the bid rates, Facebook basically assigns a value range, like 10 cents a click to 30 cents a click or something. It's going to fluctuate depending on what industry you're in. But you're going to bid a certain amount that you're willing to pay for each click, and then you're going to start your ad campaign. But what they don't want you to know is if you go back into Facebook periodically every couple of days, those suggested bids can go down or up. And if they're down, you can rebid and actually save yourself some pretty significant money if you're running a big ad campaign over a big amount of time. And again, or you can, there are some tools out there who will adjust these things for you. I can't think of the name of them at the moment, but I could look that up for anyone who wants to know. And this is other notes and resources. February 25th, they just added something new. It's kind of what I was talking about the last meetup, and we were going to touch on it here. When a page, not a profile, there's a difference between a personal profile and a page. When a page tags another page in a post, the content that you tag them in may surface for not just your followers, but maybe that page's followers. It's not going to happen every time. But for instance, if I'm in the tech industry and Google releases a new tablet, and I say, what do you think of Google? I tag Google's new tablet. There's a chance that Google's thousands or millions of followers might see my post in their news feeds as well. With that said, don't try to cheat the system and tag as many high populated pages as you can with every post, because you will be punished. Facebook will frown upon that, and it's proven historically that when you try to cheat the system in internet marketing, it's bad for you, whether it be with Facebook or with Google's search algorithm. So that's a pretty good tip. If it fits, if you don't have to awkwardly fit in a tag, then tag other pages by all means. Here are a few resources that I follow on a daily basis. Some great sites that you can kind of get a lot of the same information that I'm giving you if you want to study up on it for yourself. Facebook's own blog, Post Planner, and Social Media Examiner are three great social media sites out there. And and now I guess if anybody has any questions, I'll take the questions, and I'll hang out for a while after this is over if anybody else has questions.
If you can send me the presentation, I'll put it up on the Meetup
Yeah.
website so everybody can get it. That'll probably be the best way.
Yeah.
And I'll put this video up on our YouTube channel, that I'll put a link on the Facebook page too.
Okay.
So JC, you talked about, Hootsuite and some platforms. And a long time ago, I had heard that businesses that use that to manage were in a way punished for using those platforms versus posting directly to
Right.
Facebook. Is that true anymore?
That was
or-
true at one point.
Is it-
Now it's really, as I understand it, it's not affecting your reach at all if you use a third-party
Okay.
application.
I mean, it seems like it'd be a lot easier,
Yeah, it is.
without a doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I use Hootsuite.
But I just had heard it used to
It
be.
did used to negatively affect your reach
Hmm.
to some extent because they really wanted to. I mean, they just want to keep everybody on Facebook as much
Oh, yeah.
as long as possible. But they finally, took that out. So.
Okay. Well, to that point, I mean, do you still see anything? They used to punish you if your posts had links off of Facebook. It wasn't as good as having links to, internal I mean, they like to keep you internally. Is that still probably strong in their algorithms anymore?
No, I don't. I've honestly never heard of that. But,
Okay.
but I know that Facebook themselves talks about links. Even in their new updates last month, they talked about posting links as links.
Mhm.
Because a lot of people were they were giving more weight to text status updates rather than link posts.
Mhm.
So links, whenever you share the link and then it creates the little thumbnail with the title of whatever article you're sharing. You've probably seen it, maybe not noticed it, but the text posts, where it's just strictly text, were given more weight. And so pages were cheating the system, and they started posting links in a text post and not allowing them to become, because they usually automatically become link posts. So they were hitting the X to make it go back to a status update, and they were kind of cheating the system that way. So now they're being punished. Facebook says post links as links, post photos as photos. Use common sense.
Yeah.
Just don't try to cheat the system, because then you get punished. But yeah, I haven't heard anything about actually being punished just for a link in general.
You mentioned punished, I mean, they drag you up back and beat you?
No, they just they're. I mean, I don't know if it's they go in and they check your name, and for a month your reach gets deducted in half or something. I'm not sure how that works exactly, but they basically said that users who tried to cheat the system will see a lower reach and lower engagement in their posts.
So if you're somebody who never checks your status, or you're not going to that link wherever you can see, who's watching you and when, then you would never know if you were being punished or whatever.
Yeah. Well, as a page, you can kind of see. I know how much reach my clients get on a weekly basis, and so if they've suddenly dropped drastically, then I've either done something wrong, or Facebook's algorithm has changed, or we're being punished. And so there's an extent where you can figure it out a little bit, but you have to keep a pretty close eye on it, like you're saying.
I think you may have touched on this earlier, but if a company is, doing their Facebook page and a comparable company likes this Facebook page and there's a credibility issue with that other company and you really don't want your name on that other Facebook page, is there some control over if somebody wants to like you, that you can say no?
I'm not really sure. I think that might be an issue where you have to contact Facebook.
If they ever close to your page though, or if anything from them ever comes up on your page's feed, you can ban them from your page.
Yeah, you can.
It'll force unlock them.
And you might be able to just block that, if you just don't like those people, you can just block the page and they may not be able to even, usually if you block anyone on Facebook, they can't even find you in search.
Okay.
So that might be the answer to that.
I had one of my clients, I had them just destroy my page because they said we were posting, that we were running radio ads on who's the Rush Limbaugh. And so there's this whole, it was hilarious. I mean, it was crazy because, this is a small car dealership and we're not running ads on Rush Limbaugh. That's $10,000 ad buy is the minimum, you know, like, it's like, there's no way we're doing that, and, but anyway, the whole point was, is that they were just, you know, just going after the owner of the dealership and all that stuff. But I left it on there, because it gave me an opportunity to respond to
To
every
respond, okay.
And so, you know, I mean, if somebody actually does come after you, it's okay, but to then start responding to them in a polite way. I mean,
There's just like the technology that I'm getting into, a lot of people are doing it and they're doing it not really, really well. And so I'm being like really cautious about the quality and you know, I can see where people would, I don't know, you know, like out of the 20 people in the southeast that I know that are doing it, I don't want to be associated, you know, I mean, it's not that they're bad or anything like that, but it's just kind of like there's a credibility issue where, there's a difference.
Yeah, I think the best thing for you to do would probably be, I think, to go in and just block that page.
Yeah,
Maybe you, as your page, not just as you.
okay.
So if you're on Facebook, if you're on your page,
Uh-huh.
at the very top right of the screen, you can click a gear icon, and it will say use Facebook as whatever the name of your page is. And so if you click that, then you're browsing Facebook as your page, not you anymore. Not, you know, I'm not browsing as JC, I'm browsing as virality if I do that.
Okay.
And so I like and comment and share as virality.
Right.
And so with that, you can search for their pages and block them that way.
Oh, I see what you mean, okay, I see what you mean. I'm gonna follow up with you.
how do you go about, I mean, Facebook is pretty much forcing you to run ads if you want reach in a lot of ways. I mean, because like, if you quit running ads, I mean, your reach is down a ton. So how do you go about, when you're working with your clients, deciding the level of spend? You know, Google kind of helps you out when you use Google Analytics, so is there one with Facebook and stuff like that?
Well, really, first off, it depends on the type of business. So like for a little retail shop in Fondren, I'm not gonna run a $10,000 ad campaign. One, because they can't afford it, because they're a small business. Two, because that's probably more than enough money to reach the people I'm looking for. So it's really gonna depend on their market, what types of people would purchase their product. And also, Facebook's ad manager is actually a really good tool, because it allows you, when you're setting up your ads, to see the estimated people of, after you put in all your demographics that you want to target, it lets you see how many people actually fall into all those categories. So how many people are there that are white women between the ages of 30 to 40, or, you know, like you can get super specific. And so it'll give you the exact number, and therefore you can kind of estimate how much you're spending per impression, and you can kind of do a little math and see about how much you should charge. I never do ad campaigns based on impressions. I always do cost per click, because I usually want people to click on the ads instead of just
But
seeing.
why would you ever choose impressions? I don't understand that, why they have that option.
Brand recognition, first off, is, I mean, just being, you know, everywhere. It's kind of it's almost a subliminal effect. People see your brand. It's just brand recognition, really.
Sometimes it can be.
And I think, yeah, he's probably a way better source to answer that question than I am. But
Well, I agree that sometimes I don't really, I mean, I'm more of a cost per click kind of guy, but sometimes you can run impression ads that if you look at your click-through rate, they're actually cheaper, because, you know, an impression ad you run cost per 1,000 CPM is what it's called, so sometimes you can actually make the cost per click lower than the actual CPC on the cost per CPC campaigns.
yeah.
However, it's one of those things you don't put all your, you know, don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Right.
In that regard, so.
Right.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you.